Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's K-E-S-H-W-A-N-I, Keshwani. I have been solving math problems for GRE out of this book here, Practicing to Take the GRE General Test, 10th edition. If you do not have this book already, purchase it immediately. The problem that I'm about to solve is the one that you're going to find on page number 228, Quantitative Comparison Question, number 12. GRE 10th edition. Let's take a look at it. Number 12. They give you a little picture here. This is X. This is X. Let me change the marker. This marker is running out of ink. It's not good. This side is X, this side is X, this is Y, this angle is Z, and then at the very bottom we are told that X is more than Y. But as you can see, the way the picture is given to us in the exam, it does not look like X is more than Y. So the very first thing I like to do is to redraw my picture in such a way that it brings out this feature of the picture. And you want to redraw it in such a way that when you do it, you just simply exaggerate the hell out of it. Okay? They tell you that X is more than Y, so I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it in such a way that it's easy to see. Here is my X. And here is my Y. As you can see, X is more than Y. Now, since this is X and this is X, these two sides are equal. And when two sides of the triangles are equal, the triangle is referred to as an isosceles triangle, which is what we're dealing with here. They want us to compare Z with 60. Let's take a look. Well, if X is more than Y, as you can see this side is more than this side, it also tells me that the angle that faces the X, the angle that faces this X is this angle, and since they are the same length, this angle is also same as that angle. So if they're calling this Z, this is also Z. And since X is more than Y, the angle that faces the X, which is angle Z, has to be more than this angle that faces the Y. Let's give it some name here. What should we call it? This angle here has to be less than this angle. So what do you infer from that? Since we have to compare Z with 60, question is, can Z be 60? Well, if Z were 60, then this would have to be 60 as well. And if that were the case, 60 plus 60 is 120, that would make the top part 60. Which will tell me that we end up dealing with an equilateral triangle. These three angles cannot be equal because this side X is more than Y. That means the angle that faces the X has to be more than that angle. Also, Z cannot be less than 60. This means Z with a negative sign on it means less than 60. Can Z be less than 60? Well, if that were the case, if Z were less than 60, this is less than 60. The only way all of those three angles will add up to 180 is when this angle is something more than 60. Well, that is not possible because Y, the side Y, is less than side X. The angle facing the smaller side cannot be more than the angle facing the large side. Therefore, that tells me that this angle Z, whatever it is, has got to be more than 60. It has to be more than 60. That is more than 60. Whatever this angle is plus this angle this angle plus this angle will add up to more than 120, and therefore whatever this angle is has to be less than 60. That's all. Z has to be more than 60. 60 plus. And since we're comparing it against 60, the answer is A. Column A is bigger. 43% of the people who took the exam got this question right, which also tells me that the 57% of the people who took this particular exam got it wrong. And the reason why they're probably getting it wrong is because they forget what these questions are called. These are known as quantitative comparison. One does not sit there and compute the bloody thing. There is no way of computing it. There is no computing is same as figuring something out. There is no way to figure out what this angle is, and there is no way of figuring out what this angle is. There isn't anywhere. Simply telling me this side equals that side, all that tells me is that these two sides are equal. There is no way. There is no way of actually figuring out the exact value of z, which is where people are getting lost. The 57% of the people who got this question wrong is because they are sitting there and asking themselves, wondering, what could z be? I cannot answer you. How does z compare with 60 because I don't know what z is. And that is their problem. They're trying to figure out what z is. That's not the point here. You don't have to figure out what z is. All you have to be able to tell me is whether it's more than 60, because I'm comparing it versus 60. All you have to be able to tell me is whether it's more than 60, less than 60, or equal to 60. As I explained already, z cannot possibly be equal to 60. If that were 60 and this were 60, this would have to be 60. It will end up being an equilateral triangle, and all three sides would have to be equal. We are told that that is not the case. Right here we are told that x is more than y. This side, as I redrew it, as you can see it, this side is more than this thing. It is not an equilateral triangle, so they cannot all be 60. Z also cannot be less than 60, because if z were less than 60, this is also z. This would also be less than 60. Something less than 60 and something less than 60 would add up to something less than 120, which means this top angle would have to be something more than 60. That is not possible. Angle facing the smallest side in the triangle cannot be the largest angle. It's not possible. Therefore, this angle has to be more than 60. Whatever it is something more than 60. That's the only way this is going to be less than 60. Something more than 60 plus another quantity which is more than 60 would add up to something more than 120. And that would imply that this angle, whatever it is something less than 60. That's all. This is more than 60. And that's all you can do here. That's all it is. It's about thinking. It's not about doing it out. I hope you found it helpful. If you wish to get hold of me for personal private tutoring, one-to-one tutoring, or if you wish to buy the solution manuals from me, solutions to these problems, in either case, get hold of me by email. Go to my website at www.for4gre.com and send me an email. Alright? Thanks.